Hey guys, how are you doing? So let me get to the point straight away. Does this work? Yes, it does. It took me a few days, but I made about a mirror just binge watching TV shows. So is it the best div per hour? No, I don't think so. But is it a good build? Neither. To be fair, you can only do Ultimatum, and I don't consider that good. But as far as it goes, regarding Ultimatum and Inscribe Ultimatum, this is great. This is absolutely amazing. You can do it while watching your TV show and get to level 100 without even paying attention. So, thumbs up for that. Now, the reason why I'm making this video is to share with you guys the fact that even though this build looks bad in terms of DPS, if you look at it on the spreadsheet, it will be like 30k DPS, and the EHP will be like 120, 130k EHP. So it doesn't look tanky, and it has absolutely Z DPS. But the result is you are good. You never die, and you never lose a Grill Gauntlet. Like Ultimatum, you cannot lose. Even on a chieftain, you can lose. Even with a Svalin, because of some ruin combo. And you can even die, like when you get no regen, no recovery, and like 3 different kind of feast degen. You can die on the chieftain, but you never die on the gladiator. You never take ruin, and you never die. So it's absolutely amazing. Yeah, I got to 100 without even looking at my screen. I was watching a TV show. So I wanted to share with you guys how that works and then show you real quick the strategy I use for the ultimatum. And yeah, have fun doing it yourself, guys. So let's talk about the build a little bit. So basically this is a ripoff of the chieftain version with a few twists, right? So we'll go over them real quick and then we'll check out the tree, which has a few differences that are worth mentioning. So, well, as you can see, we are very tanky. We have a lot of block and a lot of survivability. So right now you can only see 1.5k regen, but when I get hit, basically go up to like 4k per second. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Now let's look at the weapon. Normally people are using a Nebulis or a crafted scepter from Haste, and that gives you elemental overload, save some point, put that somewhere else. Now, this weapon, I love it just because of this recover 1% of life when you ignite an enemy. This is an enormous amount of HP recover per second because we are using the Firestorm of Pelting and Cremation of the Volcano. So the amount of hit per second is crazy high, and that means that it adds to the life on hit from the Watcher Eyes, and we get crazy amount of life recovery that way, which I love. And it's not reduced by less recovery and less regen that you get from Ultimatum or map mods. This bypasses that, and it's basically a life on it, except it's life on ignite, and very good. The next two line, Fizz converted to fire and increased burning damage, are just a little bit of extra. So the conversion works with the glove to give basically your wave of conviction 100%, but that's not a lot of added damage. And same with the burning damage. It's also not crazy. It's good, but it's nothing to be jumping around. So it's really for the 1% of life that we use this, and it does a lot to enable survivability in like all the scenarios that you can get from Gruul Gauntlet. Next, we all have this ring, which is the Valerium ring, and this is what enables you to get stunned every time someone just even looks at you funny. And that's about it. The cannot be poison is just it's caviar. It's very expensive for nothing. I could take 100 poison and don't see it on my life. So yeah, this is just extra. Then we're using a doppelganger, guys, and the less physical and chaos damage taken while sane means that it's not from hit, but it's overall. So it also works with the degen, and Ultimatum has a lot of Fizz dot and Chaos dot, so this works on that. And the life recovery when you get hit also works all the time. So you get a lot of life regen and a lot of damage reduction. So this is a very good chest. Then we are using the Anvil because it gives us a lot of block chance. So that means that we save point from the tree. And it also gives plus 3% max block chance, which we're gonna be scaling as much as possible. Now, the maximum all resistance is a very expensive one. I don't think that's mandatory. You can build and live with 89 max res, and you're gonna be just fine. The chest is the Azadi crest. Well, the only thing that's good with it is the fact that you roll 3 times instead of 2. So since we are using the lucky block from the Gladiator Ascendancy, it means the block chance get rolled 3 times. So all in all, it gives us close to 99% chance to block, spell as well as attack. So this is really a strong one. Since we are gladiator, you don't care about the chance to block. You only care about the increased max life. And yeah, when I bought mine, I was looking at chance to block, which is why it's not. It's more expensive than what it should be. And the double implicit curse is not mandatory as well. Okay, it's just a little bit of extra caviar, like I said, because I had money to spend, but you don't need to go that far. Then I get a mage blood. Yeah, so if you don't have a mage blood, you can use like immortal flesh, and you just change your potion or change the enchant on the potion. But that's about it. It's nothing gonna be too different. It's just taking an immortal flesh instead. And then we have the Cinder Swallow, which is a lot of DPS. If you add Malediction plus the increased damage taken by enemy, it goes up to 20% more damage for one flask. So, like I said in a video from the past league, this new Cinder Swallow is crazy good. And, well, we have the occasion to take advantage of it since we are igniting enemy a lot. So, yeah, very good. You also get 2% of life when you kill an enemy. Now, this, when there's no monster to kill, this does nothing. But when monster dies around you, it adds to the recovery you get from the weapon and your passive regen, and it keeps you basically full life all the time. You'd never see your life drops. Now, everything else is gonna be crafted stuff. So, all of it, the 3-piece chest, helmet, sorry, glove and boots, are all the same thing. It's max life regen rate, and then life. And a little bit of armor if I can. That's about it. So the way I crafted them, as you can see, it's the same recipe for all of them. It's just getting some fracture, either T1 life regen or T1 regenerate, and then spamming some envy, deafening essence of envy for the chaos res, and spamming until I hit either the life regen or the regeneration rate, depending on the fracture I get. Then I work on the implicit using some exotic currency. You know, Eldritch Chaos, Eldritch Inhuman, Eldritch Exalted. And that's about it. You have fun playing with these until you hit something good and a T1 life, and then you have something. So basically AoE and a little bit of armor on the boots. That's about it. There's nothing more to it. The boots can be annoying. I just got very lucky on the movement speed, and then I lucky exalted the regen. I actually the crafting on the bots were very lucky for me. You don't need the move speed. The move speed is useless because you're gonna be standing still on Ultimatum. Move speed is not gonna be the name of the game here. So if you don't get move speed, then you don't. I just was just very happy to get some move speed and to be able to run around and get to my ultimatum faster, but this is absolutely not mandatory. Right, on the implicit, the only important one would be some of that fizz taken as fire. Here it's the ignite spread. This is a very, very strong one. And on the boots, you have the ignite deal damage faster. Right, that's the important one. The other one can be flexible. And then the ring is just a fix for resistance, because except for fire, the other two res are not capped. So the ring is just about capping your chaos res and cold and lightning, right? With some extra HP. You could do something else, get a better crafted ring using Hellcog's ring or something like that. But honestly, a 2-stone ring with some life and resistance is just good enough. To be fair, it's just good enough. It's very easy to craft if you want to craft it yourself, but you can find some on the market. It's not that rare, right? It's not that expensive at all. And that's it for the gear. Maybe we want to look at the potion. I'm using Curse, Avoid Shock, because I put a Storm Shroud on it, on the build. Increase Armor, and additional Elemental Resistance, again, to cap the res, because we actually need that. Now, let's go over the tree real quick, and when I say real quick, it's because, well, we don't have to talk about a lot of stuff. Everything in the tree is either a block wheel or a life wheel. So we have block, life, resistance, life, block, life, you know, resistance, life. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward, guys. Can't really explain why you need block on a block build or why you need life to stay alive. If I have to explain that, it's I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, now let's take a look at the jewel real quick. So I have one corrupting blood jewel. Then I have a storm shroud, which I mentioned earlier when I talked about this flask for void shock effect. Then I'm using a combo of Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh to get Worthy Foe. Now, why am I using Worthy Foe? Well, there's multiple reasons. First of all, it's super cheap. It's actually costing like 20-30 times less than Headsman, which gives you the Cunning Strike. And Cunning Strike is basically 20% more damage. This is basically 15% more damage. So, well, it's almost the same. It costs a lot less, and you taunt monsters, so all the monsters will attack you. It helps during the Protect the Altar version of Ultimatum. It helps when you play with your friend and you want to keep them alive inside the Ultimatum. Yeah, so overall it's cheaper, it does damage, and it taunts monsters so they keep attacking you when you keep proccing your cast when stunned. So yeah, for me it's very good, very cheap. I see no reason why not to take it. Then I'm using just a simple Watcher Eyes with life on hit, while affected by vitality. I didn't even roll it, I don't care, it's just a little bit of extra sustain. And then I'm using an Elegant Hubris combo with the Fullborn Red Dream. So why I'm saying it's a combo, it's because you want to get some way of generating endurance charges, and most build will use a seed that gives you endurance charge every second when you get hit on these 2 points, and that is crazy expensive. Talking about 200, 300 divine just to get that jewel, just to get that endurance charge generation. So I forgo that, and instead I'm using the normal Fullborn, which give me only lucky fire hit, and then use the fire resistance to give me endurance shard on kill. So I have a decent amount of endurance shard on kill on top of my anoint. And that will be good enough for me to generate all my endurance charge and be permanently 6 endurance charges, which mean I can now then use other mod on the Caspiro, such as Frenzy Charge on hit, and that way I can always be stacked in Frenzy Charges. And that means I get 12% more damage. Actually, I can probably just refund that one. And nah, never mind. Yeah, didn't see that. And let's keep going. Then yeah, get some damage per on your own charges because you always need more damage, and 60% extra damage, or which is general damage and applied to like the detonate dead as well as the burn, is pretty decent, I think. And now let's talk a little bit about the strategy for Ultimatum. So let's go point by point. So the first point that you're gonna grab are the increased chance for spawning Ultimatum. Then you go over there and you grab Prove Yourself Worthy. So this will make it so every time you get a modifier in your map, the mod on Ultimatum will start at tier 2. But on the other side, you have 25% chance to duplicate your reward. So, if you have an inscribed ultimatum that rewards you 4 divine or 8 divines, and you duplicate that, you're very happy. When you duplicate a stack of divine, you can get 1, 2, or 3 divines. If you duplicate a stack of 3 divine, which happened to me a lot, you're very happy. A lot, I mean, happened like 5 or 6 times, but you're still very happy. Then you grab the point on the other side. You grab these 2 points for extra chance to spoil Ultimatum. Because we don't want to use Ultimatum on the tree, on the map device, right? we are cheap people. We don't spend money when we can just, spawn it for free. This reduces the circle every time, every round. So 3% you won't even notice it, to be fair. And then you basically get an additional free round. So this is very important because the higher you go in round, the better the reward. At least technically. At least technically. So starting with +1 is actually pretty good. Then you go on the left and you grab every point except the Conquer the Stone and the Ruinous Wager. The Conquer the Stone actually is the worst thing in the world. This is the ultimatum that asks you to go and stand into stone circle, and then the more round, the more circle. So this is hell. So you don't want to do that. That's why you increase your chance to do every other ultimatum. Then you're gonna go over here and grab these points. And here you want to take the gueling guntlet if your build can handle it. I would not do that without a mage blood, to be fair, because you cannot choose your mod, and you're gonna get no flask charges pretty often. This is not a rare mod, and you're gonna get it like every 2 to every 3 ultimatum. That's just mean every time you hit no flask, you have to get out. Otherwise, you expose yourself to a 1% chance to get one-shotted. So it's, I don't know. It's pretty risky. So I would say don't do Gueling Gauntlet until you have a Mage Blood. Doesn't mean you won't get money. You're gonna get a lot of money, and you're probably gonna be. It's gonna probably take you like 2 days to get your Mage Blood. So, then you can put Gueling Gauntlet. As for the reward, I've been running only currency for a while. So this basically increases your chance to get a currency reward in the ultimatum, and also the inscribed ultimatum have better chance to be rewarding you currency. And to be fair, you get a lot of chaos ones, not a lot of divine one like I was expected. So I changed and I went for these two, and basically denying divination card. And this is pretty good. You get a lot of chests with double corrupt that are worth something. I think I sold for like 25-30 div worth of double corrupt chests. You also get some power charge helmet. You get French charges glove, corrupt glove. You get some boots with move speed. You get some shield. You get some decent corrupt or double corrupt from this. And I also got a headhunter in Scribe Ultimatum, so works for me. So these two are giving me the best results. I haven't tried divination card, but I only see garbage from it. So unless someone tells me I'm wrong and makes me want to try it, I don't feel like it. But to be honest, I didn't try it. These two gave me a pretty decent return. And you're not gonna be grabbing this because this is for killing bosses and we don't do bosses with the gueling gauntlet. Okay, so now that's all you need, to be honest. That's all you need. You're gonna be spawning your ultimatum every map, and everything else is gonna be useless. You're gonna be running white maps. That's all you need. You run tier 16 whites, you go into your ultimatum, you do your ultimatum, you get out. And you do that all day while you watch your movies or TV show, and you'll not even realize how much money you're making until you start liquidating at the end of the day. It's pretty crazy. But if you want to do a step further, what I've been doing is this. I just go and grab the extra shrine here, plus extra here, and here. I don't take that one. So just the shrine, to maybe if I get lucky, what happened is that the shrine will give me move speed. This way I can get to my ultimatum faster. I can also get some resistance to increase the life regen from the mastery. Maybe I get a gloom shrine for some nice popping. Yeah, that's it. A little bit of shrine fun. Just if you do that, remove as soon as you hit, you remove this the summon one. You don't want to be summoning monster because you don't get hit when you have a lot of monster around you, and then you don't proc your cast when stun. So you want to remove the summon one, and you also want to remove the smoke one because it gives basically blind monster, and they're gonna be missing you. And if they miss you, same thing, they don't stun you. Right, so that's the two that you want to remove. Every other shine is fine. And then the second thing that I'm doing is this. I'm running some 8th, not for the reward, just because this node you get accompanied by Hook, and I put a determination on him in the 8th, and that also gets applied in map. So basically I have a free determination every time I open 8th locker. I get a free determination around, and with the taunt, I don't care that there is a monster in the ultimatum. They're gonna be hitting me anyway. So this is pretty good, pretty fun. Get a determination. If you want to run faster, you can also do haste. And you can put any aura you want on Huck. Just the determination gives you an extra, like what, 10k of armor, which is pretty fun, pretty good. And yeah, that's about it. That's the only thing I'm using for Ultimatum. And that's about it, guys. To be fair, the only scarab I'm using are 2 bribing. I could use some catalyzing, I could do some inscribe, I could do some tricks and fun and try to maximize the profit, but 2 bribing ultimatum, scarab cost me 1C, up to 2C when it's the most expensive, not per scarab, total. It's 1 to 2C for both bribing scarab, and that's it. So you're gonna put your map white. You can do some roll map with some chisel on it, but to be fair, rolling the map and putting the chisel, the only impact it's gonna have is on the final loot you get from the ending of Ultimatum, that's coming from all the monsters you've killed during the Ultimatum, which is basically nothing. you're gonna get a little bit more gold, maybe a little bit more maps drop, but that's about it. You don't expect like divine and mirror from that loot, right? Um, the only other impact it's also gonna have is on the stacks of catalyst you get from Ultimatum. That's actually affected by the map quantity that you get from the map. So the increased quantity you get from the map is going to be applied to the stacks of catalyst inside the Ultimatum. So if you want to go and farm the scarabs that gives you only catalyst, you have to hold your map. Do not do white with that scarab because it's already expensive. So if you want to make money doing that, you have to hold your map and make them like as much um, uh, quantity as possible, and use the map effect and everything else. But that's about it, guys. Hope you get fun if you decide to try it out, and I'm already working on my next build, which is gonna be super fun. So keep an eye out. Peace.